is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 16 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive the new 2024 RDX, $419 a month during our 16th anniversary sale.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 16 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive the new 2024 MDX, $469 a month during our 16th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed. They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Take a journey to our Caribbean paradise at Toyota of Hollywood. Get in the groove with great deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a Corolla, not $24,000, just $17,975. You'll be cruising and chilling with super low 2.99% financing. Feel the rhythms of the Caribbean today at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Let's rock and roll, baby. It is Monday. Yes, sir. July 8th, 2024. I hope you all are feeling well. The markets are humming right now. I love it. The Dow is up 218 points. S&P's up nearly 13. NASDAQ is barely up. Bitcoin bounced back from 53,000, about 500, 600, 700, about, I think I got it at like 53,700, 500, something like that yesterday. And now it's up to 57,133. But who knows? If Germany continues to sell, what are we going to do? If Mt. Gox holders sell, what are we going to do? You know, except buy the dip. That's what we do. Yeah. So anyway, volatility is opportunity, is the way you have to look at it. Not a financial advisor, but, you know, that's the way this, you know, loser does it. Okay. So there you go. All right. So there you go. That's the way this schmucko does it. Buy the dip is what it's all about. So anyway, we got a lot of things to talk about today. Actually, it's like it's a smorgasbord. Ira Winderman is going to join us very early on the show. He's going to join us now in a couple of minutes, 4 minutes away. He's going to be joining us, so we'll have some fun. We'll get into because I've got my questions and I've got my I don't know. Is it a complaint? Is it I want to point out something that's kind of like stupid and like ridiculous and like, you know, asinine? So we'll get to that. Ho Yoon, thank you, sir. I mean, you waste no time. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. And, you know, Ho Yoon, many just listen, take our information, our entertainment, our content, and then they just go and don't support us in any way, they don't visit our sponsors, they don't hit the like button, they don't send in a super chat or Cash App or Venmo, but you, sir, Ho-Yoon, your dedication every week to this show, I just want to thank you, sir, because it just, there aren't a lot of people like you, and so thank you very much for always giving us love on Venmo, and we appreciate that. He says, happy post 4th of July. Thank you, Ho-Yoon, man. Very, very nice of you, as always. So your support is amazing. So thank you. We are blessed. A-Rod, thank you, sir, for the super chat. He says, Jimmy Butler sabotaged the Heat by making Caleb Martin leave, thus disrespecting the Godfather and Spoelstra. When I'm done explaining and talking about this whole Caleb Martin thing, I'm going to get your brain, A-Rod, and I'm going to twist it up to the point, okay, that you're going to go, oh, shit, I didn't think about that. Because that's what we do on this show, okay? We go a little deeper than your average host. We look at it probably, in a way that most people don't, but it's probably accurate more often than not. So when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, when Ira comes on now, you'll see that you might change your whole outlook about the whole Caleb Martin thing. And in other words, I think this whole thing was a huge indictment on the Heat front office. Okay? So, you know what? Let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. Let's get to our Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report with the one and only Ira Winderman.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All righty, we are ready to rock and roll. How you feeling, Ira? Good morning, sir.
Good. There's a lot of anger out there in Heat Nation, isn't there, this morning as free agency plays out, Big O?
No, I actually, in a twisted way, I'm not going to be a phony. I told you this already. It's headed to where I want it to go. You need to reset. You need to develop a young core. Khalil Ware, I thought I was going to, have a reason to watch the G League a little bit more this year. No, that kid will be on the active roster now, especially after losing a couple guys. Plus, he's got a skill set that you can see you can actually work with. He just needs to hit the weight room. Obviously, that's the one thing he's going to need, But outside of that, I mean, I like what I see from him. So I am headed more to – I don't want you to go get DeMar DeRozan. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. Another 2-point player in a 3-point world. What the fuck are we doing here, bro?
Don't curse.
And then let's get to Caleb Martin, because I think, like man A-Rod, who I love, and by the way, A-Rod, I think you're the one that purchased the hat last night because I saw it on my thing. So thank you very much on the merch department. Thank you for purchasing a hat.
How come I don't get a hat? But continue.
I haven't seen you yet. Which one you want, a white or a black Big O show hat? Which one do you want?
I think black. Black when I work out. It's better for my complexion.
Okay, so we'll get you a black one the next time, or send me the. You know what? I'll send it to your address. I have. You know what? I have your address. So yeah, I'll send it to your address. Anyway, so I look at this whole Caleb Martin situation, right? And there's no doubt that the agent screwed up and mismanaged it all. But do you know what I'm thinking of right now, Ira? And again, that's because we go a little deeper. We're real here. We're real Heat fans, and I really follow the team. I'm thinking Anthony Carter here, bro, and his agent.
Oh, I told my wife that. I told my wife that when it happened. I said, I almost feel bad because I had broken down immediately when it happened what the offer was, what he could have gotten. Months ago, I wrote how it would play out. And I went to my wife the other day and I said, Cher, I think I cost Anthony Carter about $30 million, and I might have cost Caleb Martin just about the same. So, yeah, it's very similar 2 decades later.
It's agents helping the Heat from doing something stupid. Because this is the way you need to look at it out there, Heat Nation. The Heat were willing to pay Caleb Martin what nobody in the NBA was willing to do.
Exactly.
No matter how much you like Caleb Martin, the bottom line is the Heat did a shit job of negotiations. They were ready to bend over backwards and give him the money that nobody in the NBA was giving him.
$5 million over 5 years. Yeah.
So how much is that an indictment? Just like the whole Anthony Carter thing. For those of you, you know what? I mentioned it, and we have young people that have no idea.
Those of you who weren't born yet at the time, exactly.
All right. Please explain the Anthony Carter situation. How a bad move by an agent ends up helping the Heat because they had a bad move in place. Please explain.
This was about 2 decades ago. Anthony Carter had an opt-in. He had to let the Heat know the final year of his contract. I think it was around $6 million or so, which in today's dollars is about $15 million because of the way the NBA has grown. He had to let the league know by the end of June that he was opting into his contract, which he thought he was. However, it had to go through the agent. All of a sudden, I am sitting there on July 1st, right after midnight, scrolling through the NBA available free agents, and I notice Anthony Carter's on the free agent list. And I'm like, wait a minute. AC told me he was opting in. I called his agent, Bill Duffy. He was at his son's baseball game the following day. I said, Anthony's a free agent? And there was such a pause there. And ensuing days, it came out that he tried to fax. The fax machine didn't work. He faxed after the fact. His associate, his secretary, was ill and didn't do it. And this is when Pat Riley showed that he could be a cold-hearted MFer, literally the character Michael Douglas portrayed in the movie Wall Street, because it's business. So all of a sudden, the Heat had no salary cap space that summer, but then they did. They went out and they offered a bomb of an offer sheet to the Clippers for Elton Brand. Clippers matched it, but it was part of a strategy. Well, now if you match this, we're going to bomb you in an offer sheet for Lamar Odom. And all of a sudden the Clippers were, oh, damn, we just matched this Elton Brand offer sheet. We can't match another one.
Cheap owner in those days. Too.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. That was the Donald Sterling, and El Civiano and all that stuff. Okay. So the Clippers don't match. The Heat get Lamar Odom, who 1 year later they flip for Shaquille O'Neal, and history has never been the same in Miami Heat land. Similar to this time, the Heat had a deadline. The only way they could make their move for Caleb Martin work and stay under the second apron of the luxury tax was Martin opts back into his $7.1 million salary for 24-25 the coming season, with very significant raises going forward, pushing the can down the road with the thought there's a good chance Jimmy Butler would be moved or opted out and their salary situation would be better. The agent for Caleb Martin said, don't be giving us a deadline. There's more money out on the market. We'll take care of ourselves. And he said, look, this is not a threat. We love Caleb. This is a take it or leave it now because it only works now. The Heat could not do the same deal after June 30th. Martin's people thought they could do better. They didn't. As I go through all the numbers, the number I'm coming up with now is about $35 million over 4 years with $5 million in unlikely bonuses. So we're really talking about 8.5 per year instead of the 13 the Heat offered. And I hate to be long-winded, but Big O is sometimes, so I will be. But this is where I agree with Big O.
This is where
you have to draw a line, Big O, on the level of who a player is. Last summer, they got an offer sheet. Well, they got an offer for Max Strus, about $17 million a year. And after all the Duncan Robinsons and other deals, they said, look, we love supporting players. We love developmental players. But at a certain line, you have to walk and say, God bless you and good luck. They did that with Max Strus. They had to do the same thing with Caleb Martin, where they said, hey, this is the line we're drawing, $13 million, which is probably, like you think, maybe too much because God bless supporting players. The Caleb Martins, the Gabe Vinces, the Max Struses, the Haywood Highsmith. This is a league of stars. When you win a championship, you win because of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. You win because of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. You win with your stars. So you might, Big O, will get to this, disagree with the Bam Adebayo extension, but you win with your stars. You give the money at the top and everyone else falls in line. As soon as this was over, I spoke to an agent. I go, what are they going to do now? And the agent told me they're going to do whatever they do. They'll find the next guy in the pipeline. They'll develop the next guy as a 3-and-D player. On that level, they'll be fine. He said the Heat's concern is not the 8th and 9th man. The Heat's concern right now is the 1, 2, 3, and that's where this concern should be. So, yes, it's like Anthony Carter, but it's also like last year when Gabe Vincent and Max Strus walked. You cannot overpay in today's NBA climate for supporting players.
But it shows you that the Heat front office is not really with its fastball, because it can't even measure its own players. And sometimes they were willing to pay him what nobody was willing to pay.
And you know what, Big O? I would phrase it this way. You know what the Heat have, Big O? The Heat still have their loyalty softball, which is the wrong softball. Look at what they've done this offseason. They've offered to reward Caleb Martin with too much money. They gave Kevin Love at 36 next season 2 years at $4 million when they have the youth of Bam and even Thomas Bryant and Khalil Ware in the pipeline. This team's loyalty is something. Look, you've been through 19 radio stations. You know, in your business and my business, there's no loyalty. There's something to be said for loyalty as a human being in a corporation. God bless the Heat. They probably will get voted one of the top businesses to work for every year for what they do for their players. But loyalty can get you in trouble. And I think the Heat were a little too loyal to Caleb Martin and found an out clause. I still believe, and I love Kevin Love as a person, but I think they were too loyal to him at $8 million over 2 years on the pay scale for what he does. So
I just think they're so desperate at this point.
I think they
didn't have a better option because
they did.
Really?
Paul Reed is available now. Paul Reed is a mega rebounder, a defensive active player. You can be patient also. The Heat are loyal. They paid Udonis Haslem for 5 seasons when he did not show up for work. Even a guy like Orlando Alzagari, nice a guy has admitted over the years, he's not paying Sean Stanley if he doesn't show up for work and doesn't put in a day's pay. That's the difference. The Heat did it for Udonis Haslem. They realized their mistake with Dwayne Wade, and I think ever since then, they've gone the other way. They gave Gabe Vincent a very good offer last year at 4-34. He took 3-33 for the Lakers, but there was a competitive offer. That's the difference. They value loyalty. Maybe in the end it pays off for them, but it seems like right now the loyalty fastball is there, but not necessarily the best possible talent fastball.
All right, so then this leads me to the next question is what's going on with the whole Jimmy Butler situation? Because now Philadelphia's made all their moves, so they're completely done. The Golden State Warriors did lose some talent. The Clippers are in their situation. Is there any shot at moving Jimmy, or is it what you feel is going to happen is if it's going to happen, it's going to happen at the trading deadline?
Or before.
Not this.
Yeah, I think that Jimmy Butler, again, has been sort of kicked down the road. They'll handle it later, but it was very interesting. Sunday was an important day. Sunday was the first day that Jimmy Butler was eligible for that 2-year, I believe, about $115 million extension. Crickets. Big O, you remember how it first started when Bernie Lee, the agent, spoke right after Pat Riley spoke and basically made it known on, let me snap better. I'm not good snapping today. On July 7th, that 12:01 p.m., that Jimmy was going to go in and expect his extension. What happened yesterday? Nothing. Look, you might think Pat Riley has lost his softball, but when Pat Riley messages, the fastball is still there. It's still in place, and we saw that when he told Jimmy, don't call me on July 7th. Don't call me at 12:01 a.m. You're not going to get the answer you want. And I think Jimmy Butler and his representation realized that. So Jimmy Butler is going to go on and have an FU season this year. If he is great, he will opt out. He will get his money. We're seeing that this year. Older players like a Paul George still get paid if they have their fastball. So I think that's going to be Jimmy's season. The only concern I have is this. I think Jimmy will play the requisite 65 games to get all NBA and be eligible for all the other awards. But I think, and I'm concerned, is Jimmy going to be playing for himself? For this reason, Big O, if he opts out, what sells him in free agency? Big numbers, points, field goal percentage, rebounds, mostly on the offensive end. Will he coast on the defensive end? Because that just doesn't get you paid. So maybe
it'll be on film.
It'll be on film, but a 25-point per game scoring average still gets the big bucks. So I just wonder, how is Jimmy going to play this FU season out? Will it be more for self? or will it continue to be for team? It's going to be an interesting story as we go through the season on our Acura of Pembroke Pines reports.
I give national people some credit because sometimes I don't, because they don't really follow, every team every day, and they really, but some people have noticed that even on games that Jimmy does play, he coasts. And they've noticed that. You know what I mean? Because
I've noticed it, because if you read my tweets and my blogs, I'm saying, what the hell is Jimmy doing in the first half? Jimmy goes through the first half. Look, here's what Jimmy has been all about energy management the last 2 or 3 years. This team can't afford it. If you have a big three, if you have great depth, if you have Tyler playing like he's 6th man of the year, you can't afford it. So the point from Jimmy is management has failed me with the supporting cast that I can't exhale, so I have to pick and choose. You know what, Big O? There's something to be said for that also.
There's some truth to that. Listen, I'm the guy that said that the Jimmy Butler move will not be a successful one if you cannot get another star next to him, and they've never been able to land that other star. And so that's been the problem. And until you can get somebody that can impose their offensive will, which is that's what a star is in today's NBA.
Damian Lillard, like they were trying, exactly.
You try, I get it, but you got to make it. You got to get it. It's like this entire offseason, you do the same shit all over again. Donovan Mitchell, bro, you don't have the ammo anyways, so he never came onto the market. But either way, everybody else is going to outbid you. Then we hear about DeMar DeRozan, and again, this whole thing about, hey, Pat Riley will lay the rings out. Well, that's all.
DeMar DeRozan was never real. And that was the whole rumor market, and people have to be first and look at me and get clicks, and I've got a clown nose and a little squirting lapel. DeMar DeRozan, I spoke to an agent from the get-go. He's getting 3 at 60. He actually wound up getting more from Sacramento. That was thrown out there. But to the point you made on your open today of the Big O show, when you said they didn't need another 2-point scorer. They got Bam getting 2s. They've got Terry Rozier getting 2s. They have Jimmy getting 2s. They still had Tyler getting too many 2s. Oh, my God, the paint would have been so packed. You could have just watched the painted area in Heat games on offense because no one else is scoring anywhere. Yes, adding talent would have helped the Heat, but it has to be the right talent. The reason they went hard in recent years for Lillard, 3-point shooter, for Durant, 3-point shooter, even Donovan Mitchell, they couldn't have gotten him, but 3-point shooter. This team needs spacing. Even yesterday, we watched Khalil Ware. He looked really good in Summer League. Let's have some perspective. So did Earl Barron, but he's another 2-point scorer. You can't trade 2s for 3s and win in the NBA in 2024.
But my point is, you keep getting into talking about this or getting into these things when you're never going to be able to win the game of poker because you just don't have the ammo. And now we hear Lauri Markkanen. Give me a fucking break, dude. You got no shot at getting him.
At least he would fit.
I know he would fit, and all the other guys would fit too, but you have no ammunition. So why do we keep doing this? Because all you are is a huge failure every single time. Unless Dwayne Wade is recruiting the player, you have no shot at getting anybody right now.
You know what? This sort of comes down to what I equate to parental pride. And I'll give you an example. We know the Heat overstayed to a degree Tyler Hero as their prime asset. And you know that's gotten nowhere over the years. And I'm going to give you an example. I have great pride in my son. You have great pride in your daughter. But when the valedictorian goes to Harvard instead, we kind of understand the kid had better grades and he's a better player. So Pat Riley is sitting there as maybe a proud, sort of guy who's developed Tyler Hero, but that doesn't get you in the door. Draft picks do. An all-star does. Bam would. But they don't want to make that move. So you're limited in what you can offer. The old days of the son of a bitch forcing his way out have ended. Dame Lillard couldn't do it. Donovan Mitchell didn't even try to do it. It's a different era. We knew LeBron was leaving Dan Gilbert because you couldn't stand him the first time around in 2010. We knew Chris Bosh was leaving Toronto because it was in Toronto. And like he said, they had the bad, bad cable. Right. He said they had the bad cable. So we knew he was leaving. That's the difference. Now it's just not the case anymore. Money talks. Teams are limited. You have to develop the right players. You have to draft the right players. And this is why I take exception to those who say the Heat have lost their fastball. Look at their last 3 drafts. Nikola Jovic, Jaime Hopkins Jr., Khalil Ware. That's how you do it. All the players we've spoken about, from Donovan Mitchell to Damian Lillard, to even Larry Markkinen. They came on as draft picks. They developed. They became something. The Heat have had 3 very good drafts. Let's give them credit. And maybe, Big O, a year or 2 from now, you're going, okay, the Heat have Hakis to offer. They have Jovic to offer. They have Ware to offer. Damn, the Heat has finally the type of collateral that they thought they had with Tyler Hero.
I'm sorry, who's the one that wants to take a step back and just develop players and develop a core? I think it's me. I'm the one that wants to stop with the stupid star chasing, that you can't get any of these stars. You have no ammunition. So stop with the stupidity already. Stop bro, the most blind ass fan base that exists in South Florida is the Miami Heat. They are the most delusional fan base I have ever seen in my life. And they think that the last 5 years were actually something legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
What was legitimate is that Spo is a freaking monster and that Butler played his ass off. But outside of that, you had a ton of luck why you ended up in the NBA Finals.
Okay.
This isn't the big 3. This isn't Shaq and Wade running their way to the finals. Or the year before that when they got injured, that they were really monstrous and ready to make a big impact.
You know what I will say about this, Big O? This is still a team that can play competitive ball and play interesting ball with Jimmy Butler and Bam while also developing. So you can tell me during the season when we're doing our accurate Pembroke Pines reports, if the Heat are playing Thomas Bryant ahead of Khalil Ware, I have an issue. If the Heat are playing Kevin Love ahead of Nikola Jovic, I have an issue. But if the Heat are winning with Jimmy and Bam and also developing Ware and Hakis and Jovic, beautiful. You can have it both ways, not as a championship contender, but also not as we're going to be crap and go to the lottery team. There can be a middle ground as long as you don't overlook your pipeline. I don't think the Heat will. I think they've learned their lesson. The reason teams like Orlando is on the come and on the move is because they developed Wagner and Banchero and Jonathan Isaac and the young players. The Heat can do that as well.
Those are high picks, but since they are drafting now, that's why you trade Butler for a bunch of first rounders, because now you can actually draft and develop. So that would also help out, but it is what it is. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel? Because I know you got to go.
You know what? I did ask Ira today on all the Heat developmental players, and is there problematic that they develop them and they leave? And that's just sort of part of the price you pay. So get a good couple of years out of Vincent, out of Strus, out of Martin, and then you move on. You don't overpay in that situation. And I had my recap of last night's game in the California Classic in San Francisco. Khalil Ware might not be the bomb, but I know this. He's more than Hassan Whiteside. And so far, he checked that box, and now I can move forward. Good pick, intriguing. Wait till Bam and Kevin Love and Eric Spoelstra get their hands on the kid. He's going to be a contributor this year. Perhaps not a starter, but someone who can make the Miami Heat better. And you know what? When you're out of the lottery and you draft like that, that's just fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And by the way, I like what I saw from the Stevens kid too.
Yeah, I know, right? I spoke to him after the game. Isaiah Stevens, undrafted 5-year point guard, Colorado State. Hey, developmental project, go up to Sioux Falls, come back down. Maybe he'll be the next Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, he looked confident the way he played. I really like what I
Absolutely.
saw. On Twitter at Ira Heatbeat, and make sure you subscribe to the Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Next week, more Summer League, baby. Thank you, Big O.
You got it. There you go. Ira Winderman. You won't get another host to talk about Anthony Carter with what happened with Caleb. You won't get that. That's because we're old. We've been around. So we can talk about things that happened 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago. Perspective, baby. Perspective. We can give you that. You don't get that everywhere. But, it is what it is. Accurate Pembroke Pines, you can't get that service everywhere. Oh, Mike Chan, Jordan Ferber, they take care of their Acura customers like no one else. And right now, the 16th anniversary sale is going on. You got to go see Larry Schlossberg. He is there, baby, leading the way. They are the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. They are kicking some serious ass. And right now, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The new Integra right now, 2024, $319. The RDX, $419 a month. Get on down there. Tell them that Big O sent you. Check out the ILX. I mean, some amazing vehicles at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Right. There you go. Caneswear, baby. Use our code Big O10. They got anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. Dolphins. They got Heat gear. They got Marlins gear. They got Panthers championship gear. And Inter Miami. You can get your Messi jerseys and shirts and hats and flags and all kinds of stuff, man. It's that store. You can spend hours walking around that store. If you're like me, a South Florida sports fan, an all South Florida sports fan, that's your store. Miami Fanwear. They got all your local teams in one place. And you can get 10% off. By the way, if you can't, you can go to caneswear.com and check it out. But if you can't, it's too far from you, maybe you live out of state or whatever, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. So free shipping, and then use my code BIG010, and you will get 10% off. I mean, you can't beat that. Caneswear.com, baby. That's what it's all about. Jamie Zoria, I see #1 on the roll call out in San Jose. He says, I'm finally back home. Had a great weekend. And remember to smash the like button. Damn right. And don't forget, you can support the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Oscar Rojas, Steve Chapman. He says, I'm still pleased with the way Inter Miami's been playing without our big. Yeah, I mean, they took it. Cincinnati is the second best team in the league. They have kept pace with Miami all year, even with Messi. So they've been right on their ass the entire time. And this past week, it caught up to, the team was 4-0-1 without Messi, Suarez, and Rojas. So they lost, and they lost badly. The next time they meet them, they'll have Messi, Suarez, and Rojas, and things will be different. That's all. I'm not worried about it. Now they're 4-1-1. If I told you Messi, Suarez, and Rojas are gone for a month, you're going to go 4-1-1. First of all, you would have said, oh, you smoking something? You drunk right now? What are you doing, bro? You hanging out with Biden or something? What's going on? You would have said something to me. Yeah, no, we're going to be missing Messi, Suarez, and Rojas, and we're going to go 4-1-1. Come on, dude. What kind of an idiot are you? Don't you know that without Messi, Suarez, and even Rojas, that's a lot to miss? Any of us would have said, hells to the yeah, give me 4-1-1. So that's where you're 1,000% right, Oscar. I'm super happy with Inter Miami right now. Yeah, it sucked. It hurt to watch that game Saturday night, man. I was looking forward to it all damn day. Brooklyn Rob is in the house. Steven Gonzalez. Yes, the rookie does look good. I like the Stevens kid, too. He showed me a little something. Alondis is the guy that come on, man, I was looking forward to seeing you. Let's go. One-eyed Jack is loving that dip. Good for him. We all do. Let's see. Ray says, don't think there should be panic, especially when they won 3 out of the last 4. Yeah, no, 3 were road games. That was the first road game they lost since Messi, Suarez, and Rojas missed. Think about that. They're 3-1 in road games without Messi, Suarez, and Rojas. It's awesome. Cosa Nostra's in. Howdy to you, sir. Eddie Beto. Caitlin Clark. Yes, we'll get to that. Giovanni also. He's got the in-laws in, huh? Damn. Fireman says, morning, Big O. Hope you had a good weekend. Yes, I did, sir. Dude 67, Luis Benito, A-Rod in, Green Lion, Alex Palenzuela, Gus 1388, Rosendo. Walk away from anything that gives you bad vibes. There is no need to explain to make sense of it. It's your life. Do what makes you happy. Keep the faith. Yeah, it's kind of like sometimes like when we block you. What was the name of that idiot that we had here like a week or 2 weeks ago or something that we ended up blocking him because he kept spamming and kept wanting to like dominate the board? What was that guy's name now? I forgot. But anyway.
Cap for life.
Yeah, Cap for life. That's it. So then, you know what? I didn't tell you the story. Cap for life then goes to Twitter and goes to my Twitter page and starts doing the same thing. What do you think happened to him right away? You got blocked. You know what? We need to come up with a drop. You got blocked. It's like you got mail, you got blocked when it happens. And by the way, it's when you get blocked, you don't get unblocked. So he went to my Twitter page and started spamming my Twitter page, free Cap for life, free Cap for life, this, that. And then, and then typical Cap for life, he starts trolling on any comment. And I'm like, okay, you're done. Boom. So there you go. Life is too short, bro. Life is too short to deal with idiots and trolls and morons. So we just block them. We don't need them. I mean, we're 4 years in. We're going to continue. If you haven't gotten the message yet, then you never will. You know what I'm saying? It's like there are a couple rules on the show. Follow them. And it's pretty simple. You're not going to dominate the chat board. You're certainly not going to tell me what to do. It's pretty simple. Respect others and don't try to tell the host how to do the show. And that's it. But then don't go begging like a little bitch to please, unblock me. You're not getting unblocked. It's over. That's it. You're a moron. Why am I going to deal with, some guy told me there were a couple people on the stupid conversation that just started going off on these silly tangents that the right or the left do or whatever. And some guy goes, well, you can hit the three little dots on the right side to mute out the conversation. And I'm like, nah, I like blocking better because what it does is it prevents the idiots from doing something in the future. Because they're idiots now, they'll be idiots again in the future. So let's just block them now. We never have to deal with them again. There's millions of people in this world. We'll just keep the good ones on the show. That's what we'll do. The trolls and the idiots, we can get rid of those. We don't need those. They don't help the show anyways. They're not visiting our sponsors. They're not donating. They're not buying our merchandise. They don't help out. They're trolling. They're losers. Get rid of them. But after you get blocked, don't be a little bitch and then come back begging to get unblocked. Anyway, NorCal is in the house in Martinez, California. Anthony Kyle Campos, he's stuck in a pickle. Dolphins opening day at home, same day as Hans Zimmer. What to do? Long tailgate 9:30 and concert in Hollywood Hard Rock. Need to get my logistics right. Dude, I don't even know who Hans Zimmer is. I know who Hans and Franz is. They're there to pump you up. By the way, I'm not going to mention what game or anything because I don't want to ruin it, but we could already be, a sponsor has stepped up to send us on the road to one of our rivals to do a pre and post game show. So I'm trying to set up all the logistics and we'll see if I can make it happen. Nothing's permanent yet. But we could be going to an AFC East city near you. That isn't, of course, Miami. So there's only 3 other ones, right? So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We got to see. I'm trying to get the broadcast situation first in that city. If I can find the place to broadcast, then who knows? We might be going on the road for that, which is something that is rare for us. Dude 67 is in the house. Fernando Perez, Lenny Pena, Jay Gelfin. Miami looked like a high school team. So yeah, it was a bad one. Sometimes you have those bad nights, man. Kyle Cockrell, Ray Sosa. So does A-Rod in this chat forget Jimmy Butler sabotaged his tenure when he brought in his friend Kyle? Yep, that's right. He did. Yep. Heat, we're going to overpay for Myron. That's right, Green Lion. Shara Bear is in. Gordon Shumway. Lisa Rose, 62 days till week 1. Let's see. Papa, the Heat dodged a bullet with Martin. Yes. Their own bullet. I mean, it's a bad look for the Heat, dude. They were willing to pay Caleb Martin what no one in the NBA was willing to pay him. Wow. You didn't read it well. That's not a, it just, just doesn't, it's not a good look for them. That's why I'd rather you trade Jimmy and get the picks, because lately you've been at least making some picks. And if you have the picks, then now you can actually trade for a star. But we keep feeding you bullshit like you're going to go get people like Donovan Mitchell or Lauri Markkanen, and you have no capital to trade. How stupid is that? And then you have this Heat Nation just believes this stupid shit over and over and over again. I'm telling you, the fan base that lacks the most intelligence is the Miami Heat fan base. And kudos to the Miami Heat organization. They're so good. They have mesmerized, they have hypnotized, they have made the Heat fan base the dumbest fan base in South Florida. They actually think they have a shot at Durant. They actually go talk to their friends about Lauri Markkanen. And no, Donovan Mitchell. It's like the dumbest shit in the world, bro. Like, you can't put 1 and 1 together. You have no ammunition. Everyone else has 4 or 5 first rounders. Where are your 4 or 5 first rounders, dumbass? You think they're just going to come here because, I don't know, they threw the rings? I've never seen a more delusional fan base than the Heat fan base. Never seen it in my life. The most delusional fan base. And, in Dolphin Nation, we're pretty delusional. But, wow. The Heat fan base. They don't even know how to read the last 5 years. They actually think they're legit. They don't realize they were more lucky than legit. Seriously. And no, not only that, you have Heat media that also thinks there was some legitimacy to the last 5 years. The legitimacy goes to Spo. But overall, as a talent, you had no business in the finals anyways. You're a bunch of overachievers, which is fantastic. Great for the organization, fantastic for the head coach. But the fan base actually thinks you're like legitimate, which is not true. I have never seen a more delusional fan base than the Miami Heat fan base. My God. They move on from one big name after another, after another, after another, and there is no reason to do it. They haven't learned their lesson. I'm sorry, is Wade involved in this? I must have missed it. They haven't figured out that Pat Riley's last whale was Shaq almost 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Bosh and LeBron, Wade. Jimmy Butler, Wade. Lowry, when Riley wanted him, he couldn't get him. But when Butler wanted him, he got him. The most delusional fan base I have ever seen in my life, the Miami Heat fan base. Holy shit. Wow. What a delusional bunch. Oh, man. Bill's fake crowd noise. Please trade Butler. I mean, that's what a smart front office would do. You have an asset that is expiring. You have an asset that is declining. It's not ascending, it's declining. You got to get rid of it. You have no shot at a title. Get rid of it, bro. Get rid of it. I know the delusional fan base thinks they can run the table. Win it all. Let's see. As seen on YouTube. Good morning, Big O. Crypto question for you. Why does a majority of all the crypto go up and down similarly? Bitcoin, Solana, Doge, etc. Because everything follows Bitcoin. When Bitcoin, now there'll be outliers. Like I gave you injective protocol and it went up 2,000% while we were in a bear market. Okay, so a lot of you made a lot of money with injective protocol, especially those of you that have real money, not Mickey Mouse money like me, but real money. You made a lot of money, bro. So there'll be outliers like that. You know what I'm saying? But overall, brother, you go through 3 years of hell and 1 year of heaven. This is the year of heaven, and it's about to start. And when it starts, it's going to be the glorious run. And then you go through 3 years of just ups and downs. If you really look at it, Bitcoin gives you about 2 weeks of orgasms and 51 weeks of heartache. But in those 2 weeks, it goes up, but you can't miss those 2 weeks. So that's why you must hodl, because there's only a few days in the year that it's going to explode. And when it explodes, it goes crazy. And then when we get to the year of the bull run, which is what we're coming to now, notice how jobs are being lost and all the stuff that the feds need to lower rates is now starting to happen. So you're going to have some lowered rates. I doubt here in this month, but I would imagine by September, we're going to start getting it. And I've predicted that there'll be 2 cuts. Now, remember I told you that after the Biden thing, after the Biden screw up in the debate, the old man really can't. He doesn't have Reagan's personality. He doesn't have Clinton. He's not Obama. He's not a talker. He doesn't have that personality to win people over, right? You know, Reagan could do that. Reagan could screw up and then talk his way out of it, you know, because that's what a good politician is. And you know, Clinton was smooth, bro. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have that. So the only way he's going to win people back over is by cutting rates and the market's blowing up and all that kind of stuff. You know, so instead of the 1 cut that the feds were talking about, Biden will force them to make 2 cuts before the election to try to win. So that will juice the economy, stocks and gold and silver and oil and obviously crypto, Bitcoin and everything, you know, risk assets are going to explode over the next 6 months. After the election, I don't know what to tell you. That's, you know, but that it's kind of like that. And so Bitcoin is the lead dog. So once Bitcoin takes off, completely takes off, notice where we're at. See, the thing that people don't understand, Kyle Cockrell's of the world, you know, he understands. You know, there's a couple guys that I know or women that are watching that I know they know their shit and they understand what's going on. Like, we're capitulating at all-time highs in the 60s to 70s for months now. And we haven't really hit the bull run yet, like the Bitcoin bull run that's really going to come. That's the amazing part of it. And we've had all this shit go on the last 3 years, from FTX to Three Arrows Capital to Celsius, you name it. And now we've got the Mt. Gox stuff going on, and we've got Germany selling Bitcoin and all that. It's just like a rite of passage that we have to go through before everything's established. So it's kind of like everything needs to be shaked out, and then the real stuff then starts, and it's just going to explode to levels that people would have never imagined. That's why all of you out there that keep saying, oh man, I should have gotten in at 26 or at 16 or at 36. I'm too late now. Oh my God, you're not even close to being late yet. If I'm telling you this thing's going to go to $1 million and you're at 57 or whatever, that's almost a 20x. It's like 18.5x or whatever it is. What's wrong with you? So it's just, you got to hang in there. You got to understand what's going on. You got to understand the big picture. You got to understand what's going on with governments around the world. You got to understand what's going on with crypto. You got to understand what's going on in the stock market. All of these things. And they've already started cutting rates around the world in other countries. They haven't started here, but they've already started in others. So they're all going to, they all have deficit run, economies. They're all running on deficits. So the only thing they can do is keep printing money. And then that's when they'll inject money. And then that's when risk assets will go. That's why it's very important to hold. Holding is how you truly make the money, because then you will then enjoy all the profits. But if you're buying and selling and coming in and out of it, you're not going to end up making the profits. You're going to end up screwing yourself and losing money because you didn't have the patience and stayed strong. Because all you got to do is look at the overall picture. It's gone from nothing, less than a penny, to 57,000 right now, or 70,000, which it's going to surpass that easily. So all it's done, it's a trajectory that way. So, but you got to hang in there. You got to stay strong, So I hope I answered your question, and I gave you a little bit more than just that answer. Tyler Hero has been a waste. He hasn't been a great pick. Hasn't been a terrible pick, but he hasn't been a great pick. Ryan AP, Ocala Joe is in the house. Everything is great, my brother. Thank you very much. Hope you and the wife are fantastic and the family is great. Lenny says, no shot at marketing, especially dealing with Danny Ainge. Plus, we have nothing to bring to the table. I don't understand. You got all these little sites and these silly little YouTubers and all this kind of, Lori Marketing, Donovan Mitchell. And it's like, come on, bro. Please stop it already. Jose says, we set our franchise back every time we paid a second-tier PG like Kyle or Terry Rozier. Yeah, well. Tyler's a good player if you only watch the box score. That's a great line. Oh, man. Josh, thank you, sir. Chris Johnson in V21. What else do we have here? Big O, I'm about to pull my bottle of bourbon and mix with lemonade since the Martin Insiders news. You the man. Thank you, Aaron. I told you you'd look at it differently after I talked to you about it. After I just thought about Anthony Carter right away. I was like, wow, the Heat needed the help of a stupid agent in order to do the right thing. That's like watching Mike McDaniel win one of his very few challenges because his special teams coach is not very good. Crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can also make a Bitcoin donation. Right now, Bitcoin's at 56,151. All right. What else do we have going on? Heat, by the way, Summer League action. Khalil Ware played well. He played well in the first game. It wasn't an efficient game. He shot 5 of 12, 0 of 3 from three-point range, but he did have 12 points and 6 rebounds. So, not a terrible game, but he was solid. I mean, Miami shot 28.9% from the field, 25% from three-point range. And then yesterday, Ware had a much better game. He shot 12 of 21, 0 for 2 from three-point range for 26 points. So much better. Not great. 12 of 21 is still not super efficient. Okay? 21 shots for 26 points. But he's a youngin', he's a kid. So, overall 11 rebounds, 3 assists. So the guy can play. And he had a nice block because the offensive player got past him and he was able to make up for it. And that was a nice block by Ware. So much better game. The efficiency's got to pick up. But again, 2-point players. That's why it was funny. It was hilarious hearing people talk about DeMar DeRozan. I mean, again, why would you want DeMar DeRozan, bro? It's a 3-point league. What's wrong with you? Bam's a 2-point player. Butler's a 2-point player. And you're going to add DeMar DeRozan as you're going to overwork yourself in every game. You have to play incredible defense so you can limit the points because you can't score points. You can't keep trading 2s for 3s. It's like the dumbest shit out there, dude. I love the Heat, but there are things that they're doing that I have to just say, what are you thinking? What is wrong with you? DeMar DeRozan? Old ass player again? You're going to tie yourself to they tied themselves to a 36-year-old player for 3 more years at $74 million. Now, they have plenty of 3-point shooters there, so he helps in other ways. But for Miami, I don't get it, man. I'm sorry. I just, there are things that the Heat organization's doing that I just don't understand. I can't comprehend. I really can't. By the way, our show is proudly brought to you by Welt and Rheaume. Let me tell you about Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. And folks, right now we are in the middle of hurricane season, storm season. It doesn't even have to be a hurricane. It could be just a torrential downpour that just shows up. And it happens to any of us, and we can all face a flood in any neighborhood that we live in here in Florida, because we got some flat-ass land and a ton of concrete. Well, let me tell you something. You get condo damage, you get home damage. If you're dealing with any of this kind of stuff, personal injury, please call Welt and Rheaume. Jeff Welt is an absolute stud. He'll listen to you. Call him 954-966-4646. The consultation's completely free. Listen, they also handle bankruptcy. I know a lot of folks have gone into their savings, have gone deep into their credit cards because times are tough right now. And if you're dealing with creditors and you're having problems with bankruptcy issues or you want to avoid them, please call Welt and Rheaume. They can help you with some issues there of bankruptcy. 954-966-4646. Homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. 954-966-4646. And the consultation is completely free. Please reach out to Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. Welt and Rheaume, they are the best in the business. All right. Let's see, what else do we have? Kyle Campos, Big O, went for the first time in a while to Hallandale Beach in the weekend. Wow, super nice over there and relaxed, beautiful beach and pool. Good for you. Good for you. Big O, ironically, the people with no patience who jump in and out and buy and sell investments at a whim, that gives us the volatility that we can capitalize on with our DCA strategy. Exactly. Exactly. Whether it's Germany or the average person. You are correct. That's what they do. They open up opportunities for the rest of us. Real FinFan says, I remember the days when the Heat used to be the best front office and how the Dolphins used to be terrible, but how things have changed and turned around. Yeah. Actually, I would say the Dolphin front office is way better than the Heat right now. And the Panthers front office, they are the best front office in town. Yeah. Well, remember, the Heat used to be the best organization in town. Used to be. It's crazy. Panthers are now the best organization in town. That's not even close anymore. Now, for 25 years, we know the Heat dominate there, but here in the last couple of years here, that's it. The Panthers have the number one spot in South Florida now. They are the number one organization in town. They are the best organization in town. They're the best run organization in town. They've got more stars than anybody else, pretty much. Like, it can't be denied. They're champions. And they've been to the Stanley Cup 2 straight years, proving that it wasn't a fluke. Oh, and by the way, during the season, they proved they were, at times, the best team in the league, which then they proved it again in the playoffs by dominating the entire Eastern Conference run. And they dominated the Stanley Cup for a moment. So it's not even a conversation anymore. Viola and Sifu have now the number one organization in town in every way, shape, and form. Everything from ownership down to the players. The Panthers are better than the Heat in everything. That's some scary shit. They're better than the Heat in everything now. That's nobody ever challenged the Heat for 25 years. The Panthers didn't only challenge, they knocked them completely off the top. That the Heat don't even come close in anything that they do compared to the Panthers. Stars truly want to come here. And then they keep their stars here too. That's the other thing. And guess what? They win now. A championship. Something that the Heat can't do anymore. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Let's see. What else do we have here? Dean Rodriguez, morning, Big O. Huge fan here, all the way from Homestead, Florida. Thank you for being the voice of reason in South Florida sports. Tired of these wannabe journalists who are more concerned with sensationalism. Well, that's the difference is, my brother, is that unfortunately they have to do it because I'm talking about media. I'm not talking about anybody else. I don't really, if you're not media, you have no you're guessing, but you have no insight on anything. The thing is that they work for outlets that they need you to sensationalize. They need clicks, So, example, we'll call it out, nice dude and everything, but Adam Beasley is king of sensationalism. He looks for any kind of, BS hook he can to write an article. Deep down inside, he knows what he's writing makes zero sense, never going to happen. Tannehill as a backup, but that is the kind of bullshit that is all over the media. But I don't need to do that. I live and work on my own, and you people support us. So that way, you keep, allowing Sean and I to make a living from this. then we can keep telling you what's bullshit and what's not. Did you, Sean, you probably don't keep up with this. Did you see the lady that recently interviewed Biden after the debate, and then she just quit her job? Do you know why she quit her job? Because the Biden organization, the people that are around Biden, they were giving the media questions to ask Biden. And so then she took those questions in order to do the interview. But the problem is that she couldn't go against the grain, because then she pisses off the people around Biden. She pisses off her bosses, as you know how it is, Sean, right? Because they don't want to ruffle any feathers whatsoever. I've told you the story about the Whiteside thing. I mean, I've got many others, but why continue to incriminate all kinds of people? But like the Whiteside one, Whiteside gets his semi-automatic rifle, walks out of a gun store. Whiteside's 7 foot tall. Semi-automatic rifle. And he goes and puts it in his car and walks back in. What do you think happened to that semi-automatic rifle? You remember the story. It got stolen. So I then call him a dumbass on QAM. Like, what a dumbass. I mean, you got to be stupid to do something like that. You know, you don't leave it there. You keep it with you inside. You're in a gun store. You're good. Hold on to your rifle there. When you leave completely, you get in the car and you leave with the gun. You don't leave it there and then walk back in so everybody can see it, moron. So then I had the program director come over to me and say, hey, you know, we've got a relationship with the Heat. And I told him, I don't care. That's your problem, not mine. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. He's a moron for doing that. That's all. And then, you know, that's because he's worried about it. And this is what happens in our business. They pressure us into fluff stuff. Guess who they didn't pressure into fluff stuff? They'd walk over to me. One time I had a program director walk over. Well, hey, we want to do this bit with Joe Rose. And we want you to, you know, play the bad guy. And this is what we're talking. And I told him, no, dude, I'm going to have my own opinions on something. And I disagree with that. You want me to say something that I disagree with? No, bro, I don't play that game. Go somewhere else with that bullshit. And I get it. That's how it's played now. That's what they do. This is how this business is. You know, that's why you watch ESPN and those stupid shows, and they have a somebody that takes the counter to whatever it is, no matter how stupid it is, because that's kind of the way it goes. And so we try to do that here. No, I mean, we do that here. Not try. We don't play the sensationalistic bullshit. We just call it like we see it. You know what? The beauty of calling it like you, at least for my history of 34 years, I don't know if you notice it, but more often than not, we're right. Isn't that screwed up? More often than not, we're right. Doesn't matter the sport. Doesn't matter. We'll tell you to fire Dale Talon before anybody else. And guess what? He got fired. We'll tell you got to get rid of Huberdeau. You got to go get a real star. And you can't be led by those two guys, Huberdeau and Barkov. You got to move Huberdeau. You know, it's not popular things to say. Trading Jimmy Butler, it's not popular. Trade X 3 years ago. It's not popular. It's not, and by the way, it's not the thing that makes me, you know, liked by organizations all the time. That I'm brutally honest about whatever screw ups they have. The Pat Riley thing, the Caleb Martin thing. Nobody was going to bring up Anthony Carter. Only people like me and Ira are going to bring up Anthony Carter. You're not going to hear that shit on QAM unless they heard it here and now, and then maybe later on they'll pick up off of it. But, that takes you insulting the Heat, that a stupid agent helped the Heat eventually get shacked by AC, Anthony Carter, and a stupid agent saved the Heat from overpaying Caleb Martin. But it takes a lot of balls to say that on QAM because you've got a relationship. And you know what? Your program director coming, oh my God, you're picking on the Heat. We have a relationship. So we'll stay with brutal honesty. It doesn't work out for me professionally in that business, but it's worked out for me personally because I sleep well at night. I didn't kiss somebody's ass. I wasn't a phony about a bunch of crap. I didn't do stuff just so I can keep my job. You know what I'm saying? Oh, put me on this pregame show. I remember when I'm doing the draft show in Dolphin Stadium with the Dolphin executives, all the top executives standing there. Okay, because the draft people can't be there because they're in the draft room. And they draft Vontae Davis. And I've got 2,000 Dolphin fans in front of me. I'm sitting there with Cephalo, Mandich, God rest in peace, and Joe Rose. And they take Vontae, and I say, good player, but he's got maturity issues. I get 2,000 boos. That's my life. That's my life. At that moment, I'm getting killed. I got Jimmy Cephalo killing me on the air, questioning my information, basically, which ridiculous, but whatever. And so what did Vontae Davis not prove to be immature? Yeah. So I sleep well at night, dude. My conscience is clear because I do it objectively for you guys, no matter what. No matter what. And people just don't do that anymore. They can't. They just can't. So I appreciate that you noticed that, sir, because that's what Sean and I strive for here. So thank you. Thank you. Let's see what else. Big O sad to hear that the Heat were a great organization. It's like a ripe fruit falling off the tree. I still think they can be a great organization. They just got to, kind of get back to their core. Here's the other thing that's been wrong with the Heat. Riley's age. And we keep talking about this. Whoa, hey, bro. This is our conversations at Heat Nation. Are you all ready? Let's sit down and have the Riley conversation. Oh, hey, bro. Riley's up there in age. He can't wait. I'm sorry, but that's, if there's any truth to that, which there is, by the way, because they just keep trying to put a Band-Aid on it. They keep trying to plug the hole in the dike and then another hole in the dike and then another hole in the dike. That's all they're doing. And it just seems like, no, we got to win right now. And I'm sorry, dude. It's not about your age. You already won championships here. It's about doing it the right way. And they keep failing. Remember, I said to trade Jimmy Butler last year. And I got a ton of shit from all of you. And after the year he put in, this shit year that he put in, now I get a bunch of people. It's like, I get people now that agree with me on trading X. And it's like, bro, don't agree with me on trading X. You're a phony now. You had to agree with me 3 years ago, when 3 years ago, nobody was agreeing with me. Everybody was calling me all kinds of names. And that's fine. That's fine. But that's the problem with the Heat organization right now. is that if Riley is doing things because he's got to do it on the now, because, he's got the windows closing for him or whatever, bro, it's not about you. It's about the Miami Heat. And the best thing for the Miami Heat was to trade Jimmy Butler for 4 or 5 first-rounders. You should have done it last year, and now you still are not doing it. And you got Jimmy Butler coming out and almost putting you in a corner like, well, no, I'm not signing an extension with Miami or anybody else. I'm going to play out this year and this and that, and now you're falling for that bullshit because his body is not going to hold up. By the way, anybody else saying on the flagship station that his body isn't going to hold up? I want to go out there and of course not, bro. You got to worry about, repercussions. Come on, man. We got to stop with this delusional state. And Riley, the one thing that he's got to adjust is what's best is to take a couple steps back for this team. You need to go get some ammo, bro. You have no ammo. And you're not picking up any in the next couple of years either. So what's the difference? Trade Butler, you have no shot at winning a title. You have already overachieved more than enough. Take a couple steps back. I don't mind 08 and 09 again. Don't mind. Not at all. But Riley's got to be able to take a step back. Let's see. 24 season was a failure. 24 Heat season was a failure. Heat missed 3 players last year that would have made a difference for a playoff run. I don't think anyone was going to beat the C's. Really, in the end, it's Butler that hurt the Heat because his lazy ass doesn't play. So that's really what hurt the Heat. The Heat would have been a third or a fourth seed if Butler plays 74 games. Not going to do with Riles what we did with Shula. Exactly. I agree. I'm not saying for Riley to step down or anything like that. I'm just saying, Riley, you don't have anything to get it done now. And stop it already. Take a step back. Trade Butler, bro. That's all I want him to do. So I'm not gonna. I was looking at the Martin and Heat situation mainly as an agent screw up and Miami missing out, but I like the Big O's point of view more. Well, it's the truth. It shows that the Heat organization is not a good one right now. They were going to pay Caleb a ridiculous amount that nobody was going to pay him. They don't even know the value of their own players. That's so screwed up, bro. It's embarrassing. I got to tell you. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar with the great Alan Blanco. He is in Hialeah. Your company needs new uniforms, maybe some T-shirts, whatever it is you need, hats, you name it. They've got it for you. Please call Alan Blanco at 3A Graphics, 786-618-1443. Custom printing and embroidery. Inter Miami loses to Cincinnati 6-1. It was 4-1 at halftime, bro. That was ugly. They're off this weekend, by the way. They're back in action Wednesday, July 17th versus Toronto at Chase Stadium. Bam Adebayo agrees to a 3-year contract extension worth $166 million, keeping him with the team through the 28-29 season. The Heat had 2 games in the Summer League over the weekend. They lost to Golden State in the initial game, 105-66, as their offense mirrored the offense in the NBA. But last night, the offense got better, and they scored 102 points to the Kings 86, and they picked up a victory. Khalil Ware scored 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. Isaiah Stevens, by the way, had 10 points, 4 of 5 shooting, 2 of 2 from three-point range. He also had 7 assists and 2 steals in the process. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. By the way, WNBA, some pretty cool stuff went on in the WNBA over the weekend. First of all, Angel Reese ended up breaking a record, the double-double record. By the way, Candace Parker's double-double record, which is pretty nasty. That's awesome. So Angel Reese putting up an argument as a dominant two-way player. She added to her resume on Sunday in an 84-71 loss to Seattle by getting the WNBA record of 13 consecutive double-doubles. This breaks the previous record by Candace Parker. So that's pretty cool. And also this weekend, Caitlin Clark became the first rookie ever to have a triple-double. She had 19 points, 13 assists, and 12 rebounds. And let me tell you something. The most impressive part about her triple-double, because I watch women's basketball, is she only had 4 turnovers. Okay? Which is still, kind of high, but 13 of 4 is decent. But the problem is in the WNBA, efficiency is an issue. Like her scoring, she scored 19 points, but 7 of 17. Like Ionescu, Sabrina shot some rainbows. I don't know if any of you saw the game where they defeated the Liberty. The Liberty is one of the best teams in the NBA, and Caitlin's Fever beat the Liberty 83-78. Now Sabrina Ionescu, remember she did the 3-point contest with Steph Curry. She scored 22 points on 9 of 23 shooting. It sucks. Sorry. Listen, women, you want equal rights? I'm going to treat you like I treat Kalel Ware. If Kalel Ware isn't efficient, Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark, neither are you. And this is something very common in the WNBA. Very common in the WNBA. Efficiency is not it's not a priority at the moment in the league. You score points, but you score points because you're a volume shooter. But you're not a great efficiency person. And so this happens a lot in the WNBA. I mean, a lot. So it's not if anybody sees it, it's with established players or rookies. It doesn't matter. Second-year players, whatever. But efficiency is a problem. Now, props to Caitlin Clark, by the way. They started 3-10 on the season. 3-10 in their first 13. The Fever are 6-3 in their last 9. And they lost badly to the Liberty the last time. On Saturday, they went and beat the Liberty. So that's pretty cool. So good shit by Caitlin and the Fever. So there you go. There's a little bit of insight on that stuff if you actually follow it. What else do we have? Oh, what happened to Davis? Do you know the cause? Davis? What's he talking about, Sean? What Davis is he talking about? Oh, what did happen to Davis? Do you know the cause? I don't know. Let's see what else. Haven't been on the show in a while. Boy, I'm glad we didn't sign DeRozan. I would have been ripping the hell out of the Heat if they would have signed. I would have been ripping and then laughing like another 2-point player. Like, do you guys understand what the hell's going on in this league? Big O, I said the other day that Eric Spoelstra will take Pat Riley's spot and the Heat end up hiring a new coach or moving up assistant coach to be head coach. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And do we know Spo is going to be great at personnel? Do we know how much has Spo had input on the moves that they have made the last 10 years? We don't know that because none of us know what goes on inside the Heat organization. Nobody knows. Nobody breaks anything from inside there. Look at the Heat. They're right away telling everybody about the whole Caleb Martin situation, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's not really what it is. Don't go blaming the agent, bro. I blame you guys. The agent saved your asses. The agent's incompetence saved your incompetence. That's the bigger issue here. Don't point fingers at the agent. You should be sending something of a present to that agent for Caleb Martin. You were willing to pay Caleb what no one in the NBA is willing to pay him. That's bad. That's a bad look, dude. That's a bad look. Bad look. Oh, Vontae Davis. Oh, that Davis. I forgot what it was that when he passed away. Shit, I forgot now the issue that he had now. Can you look it up, Sean? That is a sad story, man. God. And he, Vontae was harmless. You know what I mean? He was harmful to himself, but he wasn't a guy that was hurting other people and stuff like that. He was an easygoing guy, all that stuff. It's just, poor guy had demons, man. He just couldn't let the alcohol go, man. Unfortunately. Sad. Think Blue Dodgers is in the house. Let's go. Late, but checking in from LA. Wake and Bake, Fins Nation. That's right. There you go. The Heat already had their replacement for Riley, is the bald guy. I think Riley is grooming him. Oh, man. It would have been insanity to sign DeRozan during the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah. Would have been cool if we could have gotten Jalen Rose instead of Winslow. That was the pick. It was Jalen Rose. I forgot now. Instead of Winston. I forgot now. That's a good one. Hey, but I got a Dolphin thing I want to talk about. Before I get to the Dolphin thing, let's do a little music and entertainment. Let's start off with musicians born on this date. Jamie Cook, guitarist for the Arctic Monkeys, was born on this date in 1985. Let's see. Niels Mavers, drummer for the Laws, band from Liverpool. He was born on this date in 1971. There she goes again. I don't know. He's got like that falsetto, funky voice. Anyway, 1970 on this date, Beck is born. American singer, songwriter, producer, Beck David Campbell. Born on this date in 1963, Joan Osborne, American singer. Let's see, Toby Keith, country music singer, born on this date in 1961. Graham Jones, also born on this date in 1961, with Haircut 100, A Little Love Plus One. Andy Fletcher, the legend, born on this date in 1960, bass, synthesizer, and founding member of Depeche Mode. Let's see. J-Mo Johnson, American drummer and percussionist and founding member of the Allman Brothers Band. And that, my friends, is musicians born on this date. All right, let's go with birthdays. Let's start off with Oh, and by the way, I think I meant Toby Keith. He did pass away this year. Kevin Bacon, 66 on this date. Sophia Bush is 42 today. Milo Ventimiglia, I've probably butchered it, but the actor is 47. Those of you that follow it, you know who I'm talking about. Who else is celebrating birthdays today? They have some competitive eaters celebrating. I don't even know who he is. Angelica Houston, actress. She is 73 years old today. Lance Gross, TV actor, is 43. Sebastian Maniscalco. I like him, man. He's funny. He is 51. Those are people born on this date. Sean Stanley, sir, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes. Ludwig Kaiser is 34, and the voice of NXT, Vic Joseph, is 39. Those are your wrestling birthdays today.
And you had a wrestling show yesterday. What do they do if they want to catch it?
Oh, they can check us out every Tuesday on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel. I am 200 away from 1,000 subscribers.
Let's go. So. Subscribe it, bitch. Let's go.
And we're doing live recaps of all the shows, so we'll be live again tonight as well, talking Raw.
Subscribe, man. Let's go. Even if you're not even a big wrestling person, but it's Sean. How can you not support Sean? Come on, man. What's the name of the page again?
It is the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel.
You got it?
There you go.
Stanley Media House Network. Get your asses out there and subscribe, dude. There's 153 people here. He needs 200 to get to 1,000. Come on, guys. Stanley Media House Group or whatever, I think he said. Come on, man. Let's go. Subscribe. Support my guy. Support your guy, Sean Stanley. The Heat already have the replacement. Who? Jalen Rose from the Fab Five. Yes, that Jalen Rose. That was it. It was Winslow and it was Jared. It was. Wouldn't have been nice if we got Derrick Rose instead of Winslow. No, that was Beasley, bro. Derrick Rose and Beasley, and you never had a chance at Derrick Rose. He went number one, so you could have never gotten him. You can only wish that you got somebody that you passed up on and went after, my man, not before. That hypothetical doesn't play. The hypothetical that can at least play is the guy that was still on the table when you took whoever you took. The other way around doesn't work. After being gone for a while on business and I come back and O is still on his game, the only sports guy that gives credit when you deserve it, but calls you out when you're not doing your job instead. That's right. That's right. John Cena retiring means I got old. That's funny. That's a good one. By the way, our prayers to all of our friends in the Houston and Galveston area who are obviously dealing with Burrow. And I think I saw this morning where there was already like 1 million people without power. I mean, God, that Texas area, that area just gets pounded all the time. And I know we've got heat waves going on in like Vegas and Reno and Portland and Tucson and El Paso. It's going crazy, the heat. I think I saw where they were, what was it, in Death Valley or something like that, that they were afraid that it could challenge like the record of 130 or something like that. I was reading that yesterday. Man, that's some scary shit, dude. That's some scary shit. Holy crap, man. Anyway, just be careful out there. By the way, anybody got a George Costanza bobblehead to spare? That shit was cool. I'm not a Yankee fan, but I want that George Costanza bobblehead. That was really cool. It was Seinfeld night at the Park, and they had a George Costanza bobblehead night. I think it was the first 18,000 fans. I thought that was cool as hell. And they showed the picture of it. That was good. That was good shit, man. You know, that was good. I'm sure if I go to eBay, you can probably find a bunch of them, right, for sale. I'm sure there's a bunch of people selling them, and probably pretty expensive too at this point, because a lot of people will want that. Seinfeld fans, that you don't have to be a Yankees fan. You have to be like me, a Seinfeld fan. And you're like, damn, dude, I'd like a Costanza bobblehead. So what is it? Secretary to the whatever, assistant to the secretary or whatever. Yeah. It's just absolutely fantastic. Bronny James. Hell of a debut for him, right? 4 whole points. Let's see. He shot he shot 2 of 9, 0 of 3 from 3-point range in 22 minutes. 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and an injury already. It's just got to be, it's the nepotism. It's just got to be so nice. You don't deserve to be in the NBA. You don't deserve a roster spot. You don't deserve actually to even be drafted. You're supposed to be in the G League the entire time. It's an insult to NBA players that you're actually going to be on an NBA roster. The guy averaged 4 points at USC. 4 points in an incomplete season because he had a heart condition. I mean, if you're re-signing me, you got to sign my son? Holy shit, dude. Man, the Lakers are pathetic. That is a pathetic organization. And it's nothing against Bronny James personally. It's all just the whole situation. There's 100 other kids that probably deserve that roster spot over Bronny James. I mean, right from the get-go, they had him already falling backwards. Seriously. I mean, it's sad, dude. Sad that the nepotism goes to that level. The guy got his son a spot on an M. He forced the Lakers to give him a 4-year guaranteed contract and no two-way contract. Wow. It really is amazing. By the way, amazing is also Toyota of Hollywood. All right. They're open till midnight. That's amazing. They've got over 2,000 vehicles. That's amazing. They've got over 1,200 new vehicles. That is absolutely amazing. Have you seen the Crown? The Crown is an absolutely awesome vehicle. It is beautiful. The Prius Prime, the RAV4. They've got it in a hybrid. They've got the XLE, which is absolutely loaded. Camrys, Camry hybrids, all kinds of colors and styles and models. So if you're looking for a Corolla Cross, a hatchback, a hybrid, we've got it for you, folks. Get on down there, take advantage, go see my friends, go see Herbie Lopez and the great people at Toyota of Hollywood. We're going to be there on Wednesday, by the way, broadcasting live. Every second Wednesday of the month, we are at Toyota of Hollywood. So come on out and join us on Wednesday. We'll be broadcasting live starting at noon. 1841 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. It is Toyota of Hollywood. All right. Don't forget, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And Bitcoin right now is at 56,377. So there you go. Still a nice dip. So if you want to make a donation on a dip, it's a beautiful time to make a dip. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Did you see what happened to Cam Newton, Sean, in the airport? No? You missed it? Oh,
No, I missed
dude.
it, but he seems like a magnet for stuff.
That's a great point. I did not think about that, but let's take that down there. I'll lower my volume in just a second. Here's Cam Newton going to the airport, and somebody is stopping him to talk to him, and they're excited to meet him. They're excited to meet Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, bro. Jay-Z, bro. Jay-Z. Jay-Z. Jay-Z, bro. Oh. Jay-Z was mad about Jay-Z, bro. Jay-Z, bro. Jay-Z. Jay-Z. Jay-Z, bro. Oh. Jay-Z was mad about Jay-Z, bro.
Oh, man. And then at the, it kind of cuts out. Jay-Z's mad at me. Jay-Z, he still thinks it was Jay-Z. You know how it is. All you Hispanics, all you Asians, all you black guys, you all look the same. Rodriguez, Garcia, Hernandez, whatever, you're all the same. You've seen one Asian, you've seen them all. You've seen one black dude, you've seen them all. Oh, black with dreads? Oh, it's got to be, that's Shannon Crowder. It's fantastic. But those are the three groups that they do it to. Hispanics, Asians, and blacks. That's it. We're all like the same. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Yeah, but no, this guy's Garcia. Nah, Garcia, Hernandez, Fernandez. Who cares? They're all the same. There's no resemblance of Cam Newton and Jay-Z, Ray Sosa. I am with you 100%. Cam Newton, okay, listen, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I'm good, okay? Cam Newton's a good-looking dude. Jay-Z is an ugly-ass mofo. Like, Cam Newton always looks like, he looks good, dude. He's a good-looking dude. I wish I had his body. I don't think my wife would ever go to work if I had his body. She'd be scared shitless. I mean, any woman married to a man like that would be just, they don't want him walking out the door. It'd be fantastic. I'd do anything to trade and have his body. Holy shit, that dude is built, bro. That guy's a monster. Like, you watch Cam Newton and Jay-Z, there's no resemblance, bro. There's Adonis, and then there's like this, saggy, ugly looking rapper. I mean, give me a break. One guy looks like a Shar-Pei. I mean, come on, dude. There's no way. You're mixing Cam Newton with a Shar-Pei. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no, I'm with you. But that's kind of the way it goes, bro. Ask any black person. They'll tell you they've been mistaken for all kinds of people just because they're black. And if you're a tall black guy that's in shape, they're going to all walk up to you and say, hey, you're an athlete, right? But maybe I'm just a tall black guy, bro. Not all tall black guys are athletes. You play pro football or something, right? You have to. You're a tall black guy. It's just that's what that video is, bro. That's the stereotyper right there. That's the same person. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Still remember when a reporter confused Samuel Jackson with Lawrence Fishburne. Right. Yeah. Shit like that happens. Yes. 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 But no, don't Jay, the Cam getting triggered easy, you know. Yeah. When you're that person that goes through this experience, and probably he's gone through it several times, people are rude, bro. And they go and assume who you are, and they're not even sure or whatever. And it's, I don't blame Cam for this, dude, because when you're those kind of people, if you're an actor, if you're a musician, if you're an athlete, if you have to be so guarded, you have no idea what it's like to live like those people. There are constantly people coming up to you and either trolling you, doing stupid shit, or maybe trying to take your money because they want to talk you into some kind of scam or something. You have no idea what it's like to be famous. It's not a fun thing a lot of times. It's actually a huge burden. Once you become famous, then you learn what kind of a burden it is and how it changes your entire life. And even traveling like a normal person like Cam is right now, it's a pain in the ass, dude. So I'm all on Cam's side here. Completely on Cam's side here. I disagree with you, Jay. Absolutely disagree with you on this one. Okay, I'm not calling Cam Newton a perfect person, but in this scenario, I'll defend any celebrity in this scenario because people are just jerks, bro. And he's probably had to deal with so many of them, and it's not easy, man. It's not easy. I got Cam's back on this one. It was funny. I got to have fun with it because as a Hispanic, you know how many times I've been called Armando Salguero? Oh, yeah, no, you're the guy that writes for the Herald. No, idiot. I'm Orlando Alzagari. Oh, Armando Salguero, Orlando Alzagari. That's the same shit. By the way, ask Armando. He's been called Orlando Alzagari. This is several times. Several times in the 34 years. It's more than 10 that I've been called Armando Salguero. Hey, yeah, I'm Orlando Alzagari. Oh, yeah, you're the guy that writes for the Herald. No, dude, that's Armando Salguero. Happens all the time, dude. Used to happen all the time. Not anymore. Doesn't happen much anymore. It was back when Armando was a beat reporter and I was on QAM and, we were all on the same beat and, and our names were out there all the time. I got Armando Salguero all the effing time, bro. And it's like, and in my mind, I'm like, I didn't tell him this, but in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I get it, bro. All Spics are the same to you. I get it. It's all lumped in, whatever. It's all good. Whatever. So I got Cam's back on this. Okay. And I'm a nobody. An absolute nobody compared to Cam. We will differ on that one, my friend. Let's see. Adolfo Foliaco. There is no respect for people's personal space and private life nowadays. People, things that we are entitled, what is it? People think that we are entitled to disrespect people for a reaction, and they get cheers on social media. Exactly. That's exactly it. You see, Sage Steele thought Dana White was Joe Rogan. Really? Wow, that's funny. That's funny. Because I get the bald look. Both of them are bald. So you like lump in all the bald guys. Okay. Horn Dog says, oh, sometimes it pays to look like someone else. 20 years ago, a stripper in Charlotte thought I was Brenston Buckner from the Carolina Panthers. I played along. Let's say I had a night to remember. Ah, yes, you were in Porky's Pen, and they gave you a night to remember. It's funny how you say that, and I think of the Porky's line, boom, just like that. I can just think of Porky's just saying, yeah, no, right up, go up to that room, and we'll give you a night to remember. Oh, no, is it, hey, guys, you ready for your night to remember? And then he pulls a lever, and he puts him in the water. I'm sorry if I ruined Porky's for you guys there. It's only like a 45-year-old movie. Is Hero negative asset at this point? Yes. It doesn't seem. Nobody wants him. Now, the only way you unload him is if you give him like a first rounder so they can take the salary. So, yes, that's why I said people say, oh, trade Hero. You can't trade Hero. And if you have to trade him, you have to give him away and give picks. So, instead, keep him and pray that he can stay together in one piece, play well all year, and trading deadline unload him. Maybe you can unload Jimmy and Tyler. God, that would be fantastic. Saw Peter Jennings in Iraq, says Gordon. One of our guys didn't know who that was. We convinced him Jennings was a basketball player and pointed out a tall black guy in the entourage. He asked for an autograph. That's very typical. Very typical. Shout out to my old neighbor, Nate Diaz. Yeah, he beat Masvidal. Yep. Fernando says, that is so funny. I get people to confuse me for Pitbull. I pose for pics with them too. Hello. Geez, I got that reference, Porky's Pen. Yes, sir. Porky's Pen. Buenos dias, Big O. Jumping in real quick before I start work. Do you think the Heat will land that big man from Utah? Yeah, bro. They'll land them like they've landed all the other guys. Yeah. No, of course. Yeah. What did I tell you about the delusional Heat fan base? What did I? He just tuned in. He missed the delusional segment, the one he's a part of. Folks, prayers for Vikings rookie Kyrie Jackson. Man, him and his two former college high school teammates were killed in a car crash. Man, 24, 24, and 23 years old for all three of them. Wow. And it looks like speeding, alcohol, maybe they were racing or something. I don't know. Man, that's a sad story. 23, 24, and 24. I'm 57. I'm going to be 58. I've lived double the life of all those young men. That's just not right. I can't imagine what their parents are going through. So sad. By the way, folks, don't forget to smash the like button, please. All right. What else do we have going on? I do have a Dolphin note that I saw, and I want to point out that I think it's a really positive thing overall for the Dolphins, to be quite honest. And I read this story. Aaron Wilson was able to interview David Long. He was doing a charity event. And so he asked him about, how things are going in Miami. Excuse me. I didn't sleep well last night. We've got a lot of dogs coming in. Some dogs already there. Long told Aaron Wilson, we're just reloading. I think the most important thing when it comes to new players and new coaches is the chemistry that comes with time. We built something. The next step is to go to training camp and build from that. And so Long is obviously in his second year of his 2-year deal. He says, same thing as last year. New system, new coaches. It was kind of difficult to get in a rhythm, especially earlier in the year when I wasn't playing much. Now I'm in a place where I'm comfortable. I'm back to where I'm supposed to be. Right now, everything is what it's supposed to be, whether it's the chemistry, the health, which is very important to me, and my mental. That's all good. And let me tell you something. Look, in the offseason, everything is rosy. Everything is fantastic and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, everything is hopeful and all that. And that's okay. Let's cast that all aside. All right. But let me tell you where reading this story, what I can read through the trees. And I think you should read through the trees as a Dolphins fan, because I think it sets up something really positive for 2024 and the 2025 season, because, of course, you and I will be in, where are we for the Super Bowl? Where is it this year? Where is the Super Bowl? Where are the Dolphins playing the Super Bowl this year? Well, anyways, is it Detroit? Is it Detroit or Green Bay or something? No, that's the draft, isn't it? Draft is Green Bay. Where's the Super Bowl this year? Anyway, wherever the Super Bowl is, that's where the Dolphins are going to be. So,
New Orleans.
Oh, even closer for us, Sean. You know what? Do you want to drive to the Super Bowl this year, or do we fly to New Orleans? I think we should drive, right? So that way we could take the equipment and all, right? Yeah, you like driving, right? Yeah, me too. I'm with driving. Plus, we can hit Whataburger in Tallahassee on the way. So, yeah, we're going to drive to the Super Bowl.
Dairy Queen as well?
No. I'll let you take the Dairy Queen challenge. The DQC, a Dairy Queen challenge. So Aaron Wilson gets David Long in there. And you heard him when he talked about how he feels like he's in the right place now, in the right position, and that last year he wasn't playing a lot early on and then after. And you also remember that Javon Holland kicked rocks when the old man left, right? And let me tell you something about what went on, and something that you should be incredibly impressed with the Miami Dolphins players. Okay? Clearly, this guy wasn't liked. And I'm talking about Vic Fangio. But with all that said, David Long had a career year because he then started playing better and playing more, because he wasn't playing as much early on. And then they started playing him, and he ended up getting better and better. And so did the entire defense. So considering the fact that Holland, and probably it sounds to me like David Long wasn't in his best place last year either. So that's going to tell me that, you know, Cam Smith wasn't in his best place, and I don't think Kader Kohu was in his best place, and I'm sure several other players weren't in their best place, but, you know, they weren't airing out their grievances like Javon Holland did, like David Long just did. So the professionalism of this Dolphins team, which then goes to the front office, kudos to them, because the people they're signing, they're true professionals. They didn't like Vic Fangio, but they still did what he needed them to do, and they figured it out, and they got better as the year went on, and you know, the Tennessee moment was on Vic, not on them, because he didn't call the right blitzes. He didn't pressure the kid. The Ravens game, not on them. That's on Vic. Bad called game. You didn't put your team in position to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So there was a disconnect. Even if you were a top 10 defense, there was a disconnect. Jalen Ramsey wanted to roam. Roam if you want to. roam around the NFL. That's what he wanted to do, and didn't allow him to roam. Now listen to Jalen Ramsey. Now I'm going to be able to do what I want to do. So I want you to know that you've got a group of professionals that dealt with the guy they didn't like and played well for him and adjusted to what he was doing, even though David Long wasn't in his best place, even though Jalen Ramsey wasn't in his best place, even though Cam Smith wasn't brought along the right way, neither was Kader Kohu. And clearly, Javon Holland didn't like it. So now we're watching them talk about how Weaver communicates, how Weaver is putting them in the positions that they're going to, Jalen Ramsey and David Long, positions that they want to be in, that it fits what they do. Players know what they can and can't do. Pretty much, there's a couple of delusional ones, but most players kind of know their limitations. Most players know where they could excel. And when a coach doesn't put you in that position, it's not a good thing. So think about that. Think about what you had to overcome. A guy that doesn't communicate, a guy that is hard-headed and doesn't use his players to the best of their ability, yet they still were top 10. How much better can they be if Anthony Weaver actually uses them to the best of their ability? Wow. What a concept. Holy shit. Now, that's something that as a Dolphins fan, I can get excited about in the offseason. This is something that if you read through the trees and you've seen the examples since the old man left till now, things weren't kosher. Now, I don't know, but seems like everybody loves what they're doing, loves what this scheme's about, loves how they're being used. Well, maybe you have a better defense this year, even with a young defensive coordinator. And then at the same time, massive kudos to those players for dealing with what they had to deal with, and they didn't want to deal with the old man. And yet they were true professionals, like a lot of you that go to work and you don't like your boss, or you think your owner's an idiot, or that maybe your manager is not using you the right way, or that your manager, CEO, or whatever it is not maximizing the business. You're all part of something like that one way or another. So I like that. I like that David Long interview. Thank you, Aaron Wilson, because it's not about what he said. It's about what is really going on. And he's a small ingredient in all of this. If you put it all together, you got a pretty nice puzzle, a positive puzzle on the defensive side. There you go. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Ocala Joe, thank you for the love. He says, I'm jealous. Can't wait to get my Bitcoin cap. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We've got it. And Tony Zagalis sends us some Bitcoin. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it, bro. Nothing better than a Bitcoin donation. Thank you, sir. That is very nice of you. And let me see what Tony put. Where are we at here? Thanks for all the work, Armando. That's funny. That's awesome. Thank you, dude. That's good. Good shit. That's funny. I like that. You know the company I work with. One time they posted a picture in our newsletter of another owner with Bono. It was the fake Bono, and it's all over the place. That's funny. Big O Radio Show. Thoughts on the UFC guys doing boxing? They're making money, dude. They're just trying to get by. Masvidal's career is over as an MMA guy. So now he's just doing, and so is Nate Diaz, right? They're no longer the guys anymore. So they're doing whatever they can. I mean, it's not like those guys are going to go off to become rocket scientists or they're going to become CEOs or something. They only know one thing. So get in the ring and make some extra cash, bro. That's it. I don't blame them, dude. They got to feed their families. Abraham says, Big O, buenos dias. Jumping in. Oh, no, I read that one. Let me see. Big O, women used to get me confused with John Holmes, but I didn't mind at all. Reporter making Belgium national team soccer player Amadou Onama for a different player was epic. That happens with the inexperienced reporters that are sent to places that they normally don't cover. That's probably what happened with that person. NorCal says, Big O, you can drive to the Super Bowl and do a show on the road from the fan club locations along the way. Yes, sir. That would be cool. That would be cool. I'm hoping I can, I reached out to you this weekend. I'm trying to see if somebody comes through for me here. I need to get a broadcast location from that city. If we get it, we got a chance at going on the road. And that would be a big road game, dude. Big road game. One of the biggest mistakes a leader can make is not working with people's strengths. Yeah. Amen. Amen. And clearly, Fangio wanted you to do whatever he wanted you to do his way, not anybody else's way. Oh, is X done? He's still out there waiting for a job, bro. And he also has off the field issues. He has court issues also, apparently. And X was done a couple of years ago, bro. He's been done for a while. It's just, they did not manage it right. They should have traded him 3 years ago. Big O, I agree with you. I think the front office is getting a true professional like Agba, Cedric Wilson. Great players make players, never complain. Those are my two examples. Yeah, you just got to be the front office does a great job, man. They find good human beings, dude. It's impressive, really, really impressive. So what are we doing here? Where are we at on the we got Ethereum under 3,000 still. It's not really a green day. Man, Chainlink at 1285 at this point is a gift. Absolute gift. Bitcoin's at 55,750. While we have the sale pressure from Mt. Gox or from Germany, it's gonna hurt us. It just is. We can't do anything about that. So, all righty. Hey, folks, don't forget to visit our merchandise shop. We've got all kinds of hats, and we've got the Bitcoin hats, the Big O Show Bitcoin hats. We got them in white and in black. We've got the Big O Show hats. We got those in white and black. I don't know if I have one here. I don't think so. We've got all kinds of T-shirts, all kinds of colors, 305 shirts, blind ass fan shirts, bring the logo back, old logo back, like the Finn's old logo, all kinds of stuff like that. So check it out, man. Check it out. Go to our merchandise shop. You can hit that QR code. It's BigORadioshow.myshopify.com. The link is also right here on our YouTube page. It's on our Instagram page. It's also on our Twitter page, too. We put it up there, so check it out. And we thank, of course, Sean Stanley, Ira Winderman, and we thank all of you out there for tuning in and supporting us however it is you support us. We appreciate it immensely. We love you as always. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.